The Young Turks brought to you by Carbonite Online Backup.
Newt Gingrich decides I'm going to differentiate myself from the rest of the field here, okay? And I'm going to be bold because he fancies himself bold. Remember, he's compared himself to Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, etc., right? So he's going to go on Meet the Press, and he's going to be the first Republican candidate to take on Paul Ryan's Medicare plan. Now, Paul Ryan's Medicare plan is, supported by the rest of the Republican Party. The candidates themselves have been running away from it. When Paul Lenti was asked about it, he literally said, "Anybody else have a question?" Okay, because he doesn't want to answer that question, right? But Gingrich is going to tackle it straight on. The problem, of course, for the Republicans is that it's terribly unpopular. 70% or higher in every single poll saying that do not cut Medicare under any circumstances, even if it's to balance the budget. So here's Gingrich on Meet the Press talking about how Ryan might be radical. Clip number 1.
Do you think that Republicans ought to buck the public opposition and really move forward to completely change Medicare, turn it into a voucher program where you give seniors some premium support and so that they can go out and buy private insurance?
I don't think right-wing social engineering is any more desirable than left-wing social engineering. I don't think imposing radical change from the right or the left is a very good way for a free society to operate. So there are things you can do to improve Medicare.
But not what Paul Ryan is suggesting, which is completely changing Medicare.
I think that is too big a jump. I think what you want to have is a system where people voluntarily migrate to better outcomes, better solutions, better options, not one where you suddenly impose upon you. I'm against Obamacare, which is imposing radical change, and I would be against a conservative imposing radical change.
All right. He's against the conservative imposing radical change. Oh, them's fighting words, man. We're going to go to war over this thing. Let me see where my war drums are. So, Paul Ryan says, oh yeah, bring it. He goes on Laura Ingram's show. They got substitute hosts. Let's listen to him fire back at Gingrich. Clip number 5.
Hey, I want to play this little bite. I'm sure you heard it all weekend or since yesterday.
Yes, I've heard it a few times this morning already.
Well, this is Newt Gingrich. I want to share this with the audience and get your reaction.
I don't think right-wing social engineering is any more desirable than left-wing social engineering. I don't think imposing radical change from the right or the left is a very good way for a free society to operate.
Now, this is just after he supported your plan a few weeks ago. What do you make of this criticism?
I just been, like I said this morning, with allies like that, who needs the left?
Yeah.
Hardly is that social engineering radical. What's radical is kicking the can down the road, not doing anything to fix this problem, and watching the whole system implode on itself.
That's great. By the way, ending Medicare as we know it, making senior citizens pay 68% of the costs by the time we get to 2030. That's not radical. Turning it into a voucher program where they give you a tiny voucher that only covers about a third of the cost and then say, hey, you're on your own. That's not radical? All right. But you see, he ain't unlike what Newt Gingrich had to say. But he's not alone. Scarborough program, you got Pat Buchanan, you got Joe Scarborough, you got Mark Halperin. None of them are buying. They're going to war.
Let's first dissect what Newt said. Did he just, Mark Halperin, call Paul Ryan's health care plan radical?
He said the Republican plan went too far.
Yeah.
He's the first major Republican figure to not only not embrace Ryan, but to repudiate Ryan.
He not only distanced himself from Ryan's plan, which I understand, is he repudiated it almost entirely.
He called it radical.
He called it radical. He is out in the left wing of the Republican Party on the most crucial, I think, economic issue besides the economy itself.
I've got to say, this confirms my biggest concern about Newt Gingrich over the past 15 years, that rhetorically he's far, far right, but when push comes to shove, he's in the mushy middle.
I love that. Mushy middle. Well, he does have a mushy middle. Hey, speaking from the glass house, okay, but he does. But I love that they think Newt Gingrich is too soft. He's too much of a liberal. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you some of the things that Newt Gingrich has said. He just said that Obama is the most successful food stamp president in modern American history. Gee, I wonder where that's coming from. He also said that Obama has a Kenyan anti-colonial behavior. Gee, I wonder what that means. Okay, oh, that guy's from Kenya, and he's the food stamp president. But Gingrich is too liberal. Okay, because he thought ending Medicare as we know it is a little too far, a bridge too far. The thing is, it's not that Gingrich doesn't want to end Medicare. He'd love to end Medicare. He tried ending Medicare back in the 1990s. But he realizes it's not popular. So he's just trying to do something that might get him actually a couple of votes in a general election. So, of course, the Republicans have ripped him to shreds. They got no interest in that.
Eventually, you're going to have a computer disaster, your computer is going to crash, and you're going to lose all your files. But with Carbonite Online Backup, you don't have to worry about any of that because it automatically saves your files off-site. You can access all of your backed up files from any computer remotely, or if you want, you can also access your files through an iPhone or BlackBerry with Carbonite's awesome free app. Carbonite costs just $55 a year for unlimited backup for your PC or Mac. Think about it, that's less than $5 a month. Get a free trial at Carbonite.com by using the promo code TYT, and you also get 2 months free if you decide to buy.